Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the high-stakes world of New York State cosmetology regulations, and we're going to learn exactly how to verify a professional's credentials. Think about it. Are you really trusting your face, your skin, or your hair to someone who might not be legally qualified to work on them? Or, maybe you're a salon owner prepping for a big hiring round, and you need to be absolutely certain your new team members are fully compliant with state law. With the sheer explosion of complex cosmetic procedures out there lately, knowing how to navigate the state's licensing database, it's no longer just a job for bureaucrats. It is absolutely essential knowledge for both your safety and your business.
So, let's just quickly glance at our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the importance of verification, understanding New York licenses, the official verification process, some important details and examples, helpful additional resources, and finally, wrap it up with some FAQs and common concerns.
All right, let's get into Section 1, the importance of verification. So, we really have to start by understanding exactly why checking a cosmetology license is so absolutely crucial for public health and safety. It's honestly way more than just dotting an I or crossing a T on some compliance checklist. State Health Commissioner Dr. James McDonald put out a really powerful warning highlighting the real-world dangers of unauthorized med spas. As procedures like Botox, fillers, and IV infusions just totally explode in popularity, the lines between a traditional salon and a medical facility can get really blurry. And that underscores exactly why licensed healthcare professionals are strictly required for those complex medical services. Cosmetologists are highly trained for appearance enhancement, sure, but they are not doctors. Verifying their specific license ensures they're operating strictly within their safe, legal scope of practice.
Because, look, failing to verify these credentials can lead to some massive legal headaches, including emergency license suspensions for dangerous, unauthorized practices. The state actually conducts active statewide sweeps. Just as an example, in a recent case over in Queens, the state issued an order of summary action to immediately suspend a cosmetologist's license and the associated business license after they discovered unauthorized cosmetic injections. If you're a consumer, you definitely do not want to be in that chair. And if you're a salon owner, failing to verify your staff's credentials could literally get your entire business shut down overnight. No joke.
Moving right along to Section 2, Understanding New York Cosmetology Licenses. Before you even start searching for a license, you kind of need to know what a cosmetology license actually represents in New York. The state uses this big bureaucratic umbrella term, appearance enhancement, to classify over 800,000 businesses and individual practitioners, all managed by the Division of Licensing Services. So when you're verifying a cosmetologist, a nail tech, or an esthetician, you aren't really looking for a quote-unquote hair license. You're actually engaging with the Department of State's appearance enhancement regulations. The Division of Licensing Services oversees more than 35 different occupations across the state, but appearance enhancement is definitely one of its biggest and most critical branches.
And earning that license? It builds a serious foundation of trust. A cosmetologist has to clear some incredibly rigorous hurdles before they can legally touch a client. First up, they have to be at least 17 years old and complete a massive 1,000-hour approved course of study. And get this, New York does not allow cosmetology apprenticeships. That means every single one of those 1,000 hours has to be completed in a licensed educational facility. After that, they've got to pass both a written exam and a hands-on practical exam to prove their technical skills in things like sanitation and haircutting. Only after all of that can they finally apply to the Department of State for their license.
Okay, Section 3, the official verification process.
Now that we know what a license is and the immense amount of effort it takes to earn one, let's talk about how you actually go about verifying it. Now pay close attention here, because this is a massive trap you absolutely need to avoid. If you just go straight to the Department of State's website, you might stumble onto their Legacy DOS portal. Now that portal works perfectly fine for looking up, say, home inspectors or private investigators, but it will explicitly not work for cosmetology. If you type a totally valid cosmetologist name into that Legacy portal, it's going to return a false negative. That could lead a compliance officer or an employer to mistakenly think a perfectly valid professional is unlicensed, so you must always use the specialized datasets hosted on the OpenNY data engine.
Depending on whether you're verifying an individual practitioner or checking up on an entire salon's compliance, you're going to use one of two distinct daily updated datasets on OpenNY. First, if you're hiring a specific person, you'll use the Active Individual Licenses Registry. You can search by name and confirm their exact expiration date. On the flip side, if you're checking a facility, you'll use the Active Business Licenses Registry. And what's really incredible about the business registry is that it even tracks independent area renters, booth renters, and provides georeference coordinates to pinpoint their exact physical location. Pretty wild, right?
Let's jump into Section 4, Important Details and Examples. So we've talked about how consumers and compliance officers check licenses from the outside looking in. But let's flip it and look at how cosmetologists and salon owners interact with these systems from the inside. While we use OpenNY to verify, the professionals themselves use a totally different system, the New York Business Express Portal, or NYBE for short. They use this to manage, renew, and update their active credentials. It's a completely separate, secure ecosystem. Once a cosmetologist gets their license, it's good for 4 years. Then, 90 days before it expires, they log into this specific portal to maintain their legal ability to keep working in New York.
And what's really fascinating about this side of things is the meticulous claiming process. A professional can't just go create an account and start randomly changing business addresses. No way. They're actually required to securely link their NYGov ID or their social security number to their official license file just to maintain good standing. They have to carefully answer identity screening questions to prove they are the actual legitimate owner of the credential. This internal security measure adds just a massive layer of trust to the public-facing data you end up seeing on OpenNY.
Moving to Section 5, Helpful Additional Resources.
Now, because that standard OpenNY database only displays licenses that are currently in active, good standing, sometimes you got to dig a little deeper. If you're an out-of-state board or a compliance investigator, these alternative channels are absolutely vital for uncovering past violations, suspensions, or sealed historical records. For a free search of past disciplinary actions, you can query the Office of Administrative Hearings, or OAH database. If you're heading to court or maybe transferring a license to a really strict state board and need an officially certified paper trail, you can submit Form DOS-099-F. It's a $25 fee, but it gives you sealed records over a rolling 6-year window. And finally, for some real deep-dive public interest research, the GovQA FOIL portal gives you access to unmasked internal inspection records.
Almost done. Section 6, FAQs and Common Concerns.
Let's wrap things up by tackling some common questions, especially regarding background checks and criminal histories. This is definitely an area where rumors and facts get totally mixed up. It's a really fascinating nuance to understand. While past records don't block entry into the profession, actively licensed individuals face strict revocations for new convictions to protect the public. Believe it or not, the initial New York application for a cosmetology license doesn't even ask about prior convictions. It's incredibly progressive in allowing people to get to work and start fresh. But once you hold that license, the standards are unyielding. If an actively licensed person is convicted of specific offenses, they can be suspended or revoked immediately. You can't even apply for reinstatement for a full year, and if you get revoked twice, that's it. You are permanently barred from holding a license in New York.
A quick reminder before we finish up. While this explainer is super comprehensive, state regulations evolve all the time. So always verify current rules directly through the Division of Licensing Services and consult legal counsel for complex compliance issues. We're providing this deep dive strictly for your educational empowerment to help you make informed decisions.
Knowing exactly how to navigate this bureaucratic maze gives you immense power. It protects your clients, it protects your business, and it protects your own personal health. So leaving you with this, how are you going to apply this knowledge on your next salon visit or your next hiring round? Start checking those credentials, make sure you avoid that legacy portal trap, and master your search. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, happy searching!